Gary?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother. Show me the money.
Oh, you didn't know?
Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling.
Put my shoes on, you wouldn't last a mile. Summertime, wintertime, I'm on the grind. Yeah, I got the ring, I'm the champ, I'm the genie of the lamp.
This is the gift I was given, so I just live by my hustle.
My pocket, it don't make sense, but don't make a profit. So the hustle, ladies and homies, make money, money.
All out here for a pill. When they tryna get this money for the real.
I want to find a thing to save my life, so I hustle.
It ain't over for me, no, it ain't over for me.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Show me the money!
Okay, let's go smoke that joint.
What up? What up? Fantasy Football Hustler back at you with another mock draft. We're doing a Superflex IDP mock draft, running a few minutes late, casually late like we always are. So let's just hop into this. We're multi-streaming on a few channels right now. So let's bring out my man whose channel we're streaming on. You know him as Fantasy Good Sports. Let's bring out my man TD.
Can you dig it, sucker?
What's good? Let's get this mock going.
Here we go. Oh, yeah. And there we go. Make sure you subscribe to Fantasy Good Sports on OnlyFans. If you already know, OnlyFans is going a little bit more mainstream. They're already changing their entire platform around. So props to you for getting in ahead of time, bro.
Yep. Appreciate that.
Hell yeah. And then you already know, recurring guest on here. You're going to see this video on his channel a little bit later, representing the Daily Sport, and my man Taco.
In hustler fashion, what up, everybody?
Going down.
Hype for some mock drafting. Superflex is my new little joint. You know what I mean? I'm not a dynasty guy yet. You ain't seeing me in dynasty, but Superflex is I can mess with. I'm really hyped for redraft season. I was telling Hustler we're gonna have some 1 QB joints coming up soon where I can really start shining because QB values get so different from Superflex to regular.
For sure. And yeah, so I don't know the exact days, but I know you and I were going to be getting down on at least 2 single QB mock drafts this upcoming week. The 30th, August 30th, I know that's when everybody is going to be starting their real drafts because that's after week 3 of the preseason. So we're going to have you ready. It's going to be a big week of content coming for all you degenerates about to start your drafts.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
All right. Now, a couple more recurring guests on here. We couldn't get the right sound drop in for them, so we're just going to bring them both out at the right time. Let's give a shout out for JC Money Design and my man Titans for Life.
Oh.
What's up, my dudes?
Hey, I try my best not to talk about big butt receivers this much today.
It's still early. It's still early. Aren't you just cracking your first cold one for the day?
Yeah, I did, and it's a big boy.
There we go. All right, let me get this mock turned up on my phone here so we can start it. I'm going with the second overall pick. This time I'm trying to draft literally just in a different draft spot each time. And everyone's in here. So let's just go ahead and get it started. And first question in here, we'll leave this one for you, TD. What do you think about zero RB draft strategies?
I think it's the best, but you can't be a novice. You have to be kind of have a lot of experience. And the reason why I say that you don't get regurgitated RBs. And a lot of times you don't go to the playoffs when you have regurgitated RBs. That means the last of the RBs, the dead zone RBs. You should go after top tier wide receivers instead of going after what everybody else is going after, especially if you are later in your draft from pick 7 on. Now, early, pick 1, 2, 3, and 4, you can go for those RBs because those are the top RBs. So, yes, zero RB is a good strategy. You just need help. So, with a content creator like me, I can help you with zero RB.
I think I'm more of a modified RB0 type guy where I like to take maybe one one running back in like the first maybe 3 rounds, like someone that should have a decent volume. And then I'm going to shoot my shot later with mid-round to late-round RBs because that position is so volatile. So many of those guys get hurt. If you look at last year, all these top guys are getting hurt. Middle guys are getting hurt. You had Mixon, you had Saquon, you had McCaffrey, all get hurt. You had Eckler out most of the year. Jonathan Taylor, that young rookie who, you know, a lot of people projected to finish up top. He did. When you look at his numbers, they weren't really like that great. Like you don't look at Jonathan Taylor's season and be like, damn. Like you look at like a Christian McCaffrey or Dalvin Cook or Derrick Henry.
I'm glad you brought up Jonathan Taylor because like the weirdest thing for me is everyone's so hyped on him because of how he finished the season.
Yeah.
But people also hate David Montgomery for how he finished the season. It's like literally the same thing. You know, I mean, both were a little bit banged up, I think, to start the season. And like, you know, they did okay in their really tough defensive games. But it was like they both had darling playoff schedules. And like, it's weird.
You know what it was too, though? I feel like the people are like, and I would say I've been saying this now for a while about Montgomery being underrated. But I also understand some of the skepticism because of the fact that there were so many guys that were out. Like, you know, there was no Cohen, there was no backup other than that. So his pure volume upside made him a better play than he normally would be because normally he would be splitting carries with someone. So I understand where people are coming at that point for Montgomery, but then I'll also counter that point and say Cohen isn't even fully healthy yet. And who are you really expecting to eat into enough of his workload where you think he's going to be safer than some of these other guys? Because, honestly, I think that he's more on the CEH Dobbins level than people are putting him on. They're putting him below that even. And to Taylor, I think that Taylor has even more people around him. So if people are going to be talking bad about Montgomery because he's not getting all these carries, but then you're looking at a situation where Taylor has Mack, he has Hines who was there getting all the burn. So how are you not fading or talking low about Taylor, but you're talking so bad about Montgomery when they were? I think Montgomery might have outscored Taylor last year.
And you're on the clock, Taco.
Yep, I'm gonna take Barkley just because I'm a homer here.
Man, but that's not bad at the end of the first.
Yeah, I mean, right. All right. So I'm gonna let y'all in a little bit of something just because, you know, I don't know if my league mates are watching this. So I have the 4th pick. It's a 10-team league that we're doing with just the boys, right? We do the barbecue and everything like that. And because it's 10 teams, right? And I'm like, this is such a shallow pool, and I'm used to drafting deep. I almost feel like taking Saquon Barkley with the 4th pick. And just being like, yo, when he's right and come playoff time, he could be an absolute beast. Like, let me grab him. But then I don't know, because then I'm like, I also like a guy like, you know, Eckler. I like guys like Aaron Jones. You know, you can't go wrong with the Derrick Henry or Kamara. Like, so I think I don't know, man. I'm actually in a tough position there, I feel like.
I really think that you're only injury prone until you aren't, and he got hurt early enough to where he's had some time to recover.
Yeah.
Well, going back to the Bears and the Colts, I mean, the way I look at it is the Bears they don't run the ball as much as the Colts, and I think that's what has to do with a lot of the value. I know Taylor has a lot of people stealing his kills or his carries, but I mean they've got more volume than what the Bears run.
All right, so what do you think about this? Hard to start. Kev said you guys worried about CEH and his true workload. I believe McKinnon will be heavily involved in the pass game. I don't know what to really think about CEH. I just know that I really like his value this year compared to last year, and I'm not as skeptical on drafting him. I mean, he's a 3rd rounder, you know, in a single QB league.
That's
he's
gonna be nasty.
4th rounder, you know, in a Superflex league. So I like the value way better than last year. That's for sure. Well, we're flying through this now.
I went QB heavy because, I mean, I can't pass that up. Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb. Oh, my God.
Oh, fuck. You know, I forgot this is a Superflex league. Jesus Christ.
I need to get me a computer. I'm going to do these a lot, so I don't have to keep turning my camera off. I'll be like JC and have that spare phone for the extra ladies.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Is it me or is Jalen Hurts now starting to get a little bit
Oh,
questionable?
Hustler, you suck.
Trying to get what?
He'll snipe you.
I was gonna snipe JC on the way back through.
Oh man, I would have
Yeah,
been
No way.
Who would you
Gibson
rather have though? Antonio Gibson or Jonathan Taylor?
Gibson.
For me, Gibson.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor can't even hit the hole correctly. A lot of people think he's really good, but he didn't learn how to hit the hole even last year. It took him a while, like week 12 before he actually started playing really good.
Mm-hmm. To me, honestly, I think Gibson is the biggest steal, and I know it's a big reason why he's fallen is because of the toe injury concerns. But from everything I've seen, he's looked good in camp. He's made his cuts, and I like his workload upside. In my opinion, I think I like Gibson more than Elliott, more than Chubb, more than Taylor, less than Jones.
Damn, hustler.
Yeah.
I when it comes to game time, I usually switch it up a little bit. So
I like it.
I want to see how it turns out. Like, this is why we got to mock and got to practice. I got to see how it's going to look if I go RB heavy, in a super flex.
Yep.
But see, we're going super flex, so you're not getting regurgitated guys. That's why you're getting actually upper echelon. I'm a 0 RB guy, but when you can get those three, then I'm okay with that. You know what I mean?
Well, my thought process was, look at the QBs that went off the board. Like, if Russell Wilson didn't go the pick before me, I probably would have went Russell Wilson.
Oh, gotcha.
There. But all the top, how many is that? 8 off the board, I think.
Yeah.
So, I can get Gibson or I can get like the 9th, 10th best QB. I'd rather just wait, get Gibson, get Najee in the 3rd, and we'll see what happens.
Gotcha.
Ooh,
Now,
hard to start. Kev said I'll take Gibson over Barkley based on spending a 2nd, 3rd on Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah, I think I like Gibson's position more than I do like Barkley's. But also, I think Barkley, when he's healthy, though, offers you some CMC upside where you're looking at a guy that's dynamic on both ends of the ball and should be the focal point behind that offense. The more I see Daniel Jones, the more I'm like, yo, Barkley is really going to eat. God damn, Danny. God damn.
Danny Pesos, you already know that's going to be his best play is a little 1-yard dump off to Saquon, let him get in space, or just turn around and hand it off to him. That feed the beast. That's the only way the play action is going to start working.
Mm-hmm. Or throw it deep to Kenny G.
There we go. If he's healthy.
Yeah.
Those are two guys I'm loving late.
I love those guys too.
You guys can have them.
Love them. Love
all
them.
yours.
What up, JR? Said Eckler and Gibson constantly going late. I've been seeing them go middle of the 2nd. Well, I guess it depends. Super flex. That's what I'm talking about. Middle to the end of the 2nd. I've seen Gibson go at the turn on the 2nd and the 3rd. So yeah, I've seen him go all over the place, and I love it. He's like my favorite pick.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I love Gibson, but I was scared that someone was gonna take some QBs here, and I was just like, Tannehill was a guy I was dying for, and then JC obviously just sniped that on me.
It's safe. It's safer than the other people in front of them to me.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I was trying not to talk about QBs just so that I would be left with some.
Well, I went 2 RBs. I had to go. I
was just like, nah, chill.
So here's my strategy this year is just wide receivers. I feel like you can kind of go a little later. So you can kind of grab anybody else you want in front of them. There's some guys out there that you can find late that are going to at least. So if you have like 5 wide receiver 2s, what's wrong with that? But you have 2 RB1s and one of the top QBs.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with that strategy?
And for me with Barkley, I understand that there is some risk involved with him, especially coming off of that injury. But if anyone remembers what Barkley looks like when Barkley is healthy, and everything that I read about in camp, everything that we've seen is he's making his full cuts. He looks like he's good. Saquon Barkley is the most talented back in football. There's no question about that. He is more talented than McCaffrey. McCaffrey just has a system that is built to dump off to him, and McCaffrey's super talented in himself. But Barkley offers you speed, agility, home run hitting, can hit the consistent hole, can catch passes. He's elite. If remember his combine, he was like top everywhere. So if Barkley is healthy, a lot of people are forgetting on how good Barkley was.
because we're so far removed from that 2018 season. That's really what it is.
Even in 2019, because I remember I had him in the playoffs. This dude went off. He finally came back. He had the high ankle sprain. He came back too early, so he didn't have his full explosiveness. You saw it in the first couple games when he came back from the injury. Then by the time he got right at the end of the season, he was going off. And the numbers that he put up in the 2 seasons, even with him missing that time with the high ankle sprain, still put him near elite territory. He was a Pro Bowler again, and you're comparing him to guys like Barry Sanders.
Yeah, but the only thing that's different, I mean, I agree with everything you said, but Jason Garrett is his coach. And Jason Garrett doesn't get the best out of Saquon.
I like that.
Because Saquon is a dynamic type of guy. He needs to be out in space and sitting down doing double tight I formation with him. That's why he got hurt. I know people might disagree with that.
No, I agree with you. There was no stretches. There was no tosses. We're not hitting the outside with him at all, where he just has to make two guys miss on the edge. Everything was just straight up the gut, where there was, all right, there's 3 guys here. We have 2 blockers. Figure out a hole and get through it. I didn't think that was a good way to use his talent. I agree with you. We have to get him on the outside more. I want to see more screen passes. I want to see more plays, maybe with that angle route where he's running almost like a flat and it cuts back in and just get him the ball. I think that we need to get him more creatively involved. I do agree with you 1,000% on that.
Barkley needs to have 100 catches a season.
Barkley needs to be played like Alvin Kamara.
There you go. I agree. And this is the new millennium. It puts more length of a career on a running back when you use him like that. The way Jason Garrett is using him is a 6-year career. That's a 6-year career.
Yeah, they want to play too old school with it. And if you want to do that, you got to get someone like a Henry, a bulldozer, a guy that's built for that. So if you wanted to do that, I think in the offseason we should have signed a running back that does that. I mean, we got Booker, and I guess, but they got Booker as more of a 3-down type back as the backup, and that was their thinking. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And with us adding all these other pass catchers, I'm hoping the theory is to open it up more, because with Galladay and Shepard and what's his face, Slayton, you can go 3-4 wide outs and make some noise.
Yep.
You got Tony, you got Elvin Ingram.
That's the thing about Jason Garrett. That's why I'm a Dallas fan and I want him out of Dallas. Not that he was a bad offensive coordinator. I just didn't want that style. I wanted Urban Meyer. I thought we should have hired Urban Meyer 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I wanted the spread offense. And the way they use guys like Travis Etienne.
That is a guy to me. Is Travis Etienne not super sexy this season? Like, especially based on where you're drafting him and the possibility, obviously, once the season starts, we could be like, that was a nightmare because they used James Robinson more, or he wasn't as good running those routes. But if you're theoretically telling me that he's going to be playing as a wideout and he's going to get some snaps in the backfield in PPR, that's a cheat code. Because, you're talking about 1 catch, 1 point. He gets 7 catches a game. We're talking about guys like who's last year? Hines. You're talking about guys like JD McKissick. They were all top 25.
Yep, not getting very little rushes, just all receptions. Yeah, you get 5-6 receptions, like
right.
That's a flex automatically.
Dude, 6 yards, 6 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown is what? 18 points?
About that.
6 points, 6 points, 6 points. Yeah, 18 points. Think about that. 60 yards and a touchdown, 18 points. Boom.
More than likely an RB2 on the week. That's for sure, at least.
And you're getting him and
where the hell is all the linebackers at?
So you gotta scroll over in the players.
Yeah, it's a little
starts with the offense.
Yeah, I see KJ Wright as the top linebacker. That's what I'm saying. Where is Devin White?
Dang, they did change some things around.
5 seconds. You pause it for him. It's just a mob.
Oh yeah, filter it by points, and you'll see Devin White. They have ranked as 1, 2.
That's
3,
fine.
4,
I'll take DJ Moore.
Yeah, what the heck is up with this? It wasn't like this. It wasn't like this 2 days ago.
Oh, this is perfect.
Man.
I'm gonna just go. Beam. And then I'm gonna go beam.
What do you have it set up as though, Huss? What's the settings?
2 QB.
What about IDP? How's that?
I mean,
set up?
I just don't get it how it won't let you choose like 2 QB plus IDP, so I just picked 2 QB, so it at least has the quarterback ADP in there. But I don't know what the hell's up with this, because
what do you mean?
Every defensive player,
they're
ADP
all ranked 99.
It wasn't like this 2 days ago.
It's gonna make that tough for people who don't play IDP.
Something,
but you could sort by projected and projected points.
It's got
like,
auto draft. Damn.
You gotta go.
Yeah,
you go in. And
once you get auto pick the first time, you have to actually unclick it.
I see. It's fine. It's fine.
You're good. You're good with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, getting Cooper as an auto pick in the 6 isn't too bad.
Nah, not at all. I almost feel like I should have looked at the wide receivers, but with Barkley, I just want to be safe, not sorry.
Yep.
What's up?
Plus, we're expecting ETN to be used as a wide.
Yeah, give everyone that's in the chat should go in and give this video a like as too, so we can get some likes up, get this video going.
And I've used this
for
argument
for all of it.
I've used this argument a little bit too. That hard to start Kev's talking about. I hate when people use the argument for Barkley versus AP when AP hit the 2K after the ACL. AP's a downhill runner and completely different style.
Let's go. Let's go.
That may be true, but we're already seeing Barkley back in action, and Barkley is a physical freak. We've seen all the stuff of him on the sidelines. He looks like he's lost no agility, no speed, and with the procedures the way they're done now, it's a lot cleaner than it used to be. I think Barkley will be one of those guys. He is an athletic freak. Like, this dude is built like nobody else. Like, when they did the combine, he was like ridiculous.
ETN at the flex is a boss move, even in half PPR. Hell yeah, because he gets any kind of receptions, on the game in any kind of PPR.
I mean, I guess it depends on who he's versus. Like, in that case, I might look at Javonte Williams over Travis Etienne, like, because they're going in the same spot. But I mean, you can't really go wrong. The one that's really interesting to me is Michael Carter, because how much volume is he going to get in that Jets offense?
Where's that at? Who's got the
a lot
going?
He's going to get a lot.
That's what I'm thinking. And he's going like this is exactly speaking to what you're saying about the RB0 strategy, because we're talking about guys like ETN, we're talking about Javonte Williams, we're talking about guys like Michael Carter, even Ronald Jones, who we're talking about now 7th, 8th round, where you can snag up and they're going to have pretty good volume. And you'll be set everywhere else, because obviously with your early picks, you're probably getting wide receivers, a tight end, some quarterbacks. Damn, Hustler, you don't need 4 running backs.
I don't know why is he available in the 7th like that. That's why I snatched him up there,
bro. That was Miles Sanders in the 6th. I was like, I get he has injury concerns, but he has like number 1 RB potential.
Boy can't catch a ball.
Screw you, Hustler. You too. Dang it.
Damn, Mike Davis is still there. Yo, running backs is deep, bro. I like Mike Davis this year.
There's a lot of people. There's so much talent.
Yeah.
What up, Taylor? Taylor asked, isn't Wentz out for a minute? So
Singletary looking good.
Really?
Yeah.
From Buffalo?
Yeah, it's on right now.
Oh,
nice.
Put the game on.
Someone
the Bears.
See, that's such a messy running back situation that, again, is both those guys are going super late. You got Singletary and Zach Moss, and obviously everyone thinks that the RB1 is Josh Allen, but like,
damn, that was nice.
That's a running situation that's super interesting this season.
Yep. Probably too interesting for me to I'm just gonna avoid it.
You gotta take one of the two. Which would you take?
Can I just
Singletary
do
or Moss?
This might be fun.
Fuck. I don't even know. I think I might still lean on Singletary. He'd probably never play though. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'd have him on my team. I don't know if I'd ever have to play him.
That's like a bye week filling guy.
Yeah.
It is doubling down on the Browns.
So Taylor said, isn't Wentz out for a minute? So supposedly, according to the Colts, he's probably going to play week one. Him and that the guard that was supposedly going to be out.
They're going to play week 1?
Quentin Nelson.
Supposedly. That's the consensus. And Stu, what up,
That Singletary play was a catch. It was like a catch almost in the, like, probably about half a yard up. And then Singletary like jump step sideways and make some dude just miss like big time. And he almost fell over, caught himself, and then like ran another 10 yards.
KD in the building, what up? Said, remember Myers showcased Percy Harvin, and everybody loved Percy Harvin back in the day.
Man, he was
Percy Harvin was a
Travis Etienne ain't Percy Harvin.
Not even close.
No.
Just different. Way different.
He ain't gonna be better than Percy Harvin either.
Yeah, but he's playing running back though, so I think that's the hack. If he was playing a wide receiver, we wouldn't feel the same way. But if he's playing running back, knowing those kind of catches, that's a little different. Because if they do then bring him in, let's just say goal line, and they give him some goal line carries on top of the passing workload, that becomes a dynamic player. Like that's someone, because that's the thing about Travis. He can run. He's a good runner too.
Well, Percy Harvin made All Pro twice in his 5-year career.
Yeah. Here's
Percy
the question.
Harvin, but I feel like Percy Harvin was also like a special teams lord. Like
he could do it all. He can do it all. He played straight receiver. Remember when Brett Favre? He had like 110 catches. Hustler for Brett Favre.
I'll go look that up. But he balled the fuck out that season. Like it was ridiculous. I'm gonna go look that up. And look at this question here. Who do you think is the RB1 for the Texans? I'm leaning Philip Lindsay. I think David Johnson's gonna be like Duke Johnson.
Yeah.
I think
you know what? Honestly, you know what? It'd be kind of crazy to see Mark Ingram do something because he could. He still showed that he had a little bit last year when they played him.
It's going to be musical chairs. David Johnson 1 game, Philip Lindsay 1 game, Mark Ingram 1 game. Who's going to get the touches? That's basically what we asking. David Johnson to me is the guy that I'm targeting on this offense. Other guys, I pick them up off the waiver wire when it come time. Other than that, you can play in musical chairs.
So 2009, right, was when Brett Favre played. So that was actually Percy Harvin's rookie year. So he had 91 targets that year, but only had 60 receptions, close to 800 yards. He had the 6 TDs also.
I like that Sam Darnold pick.
What about the next year?
So the next year, he never touched 100 receptions, actually. It was 2011 when he had over 100 targets his next 2 years. But 2010, he brought down 71 receptions, and then 2011, he brought down 87. So those were his best years, 2010 and 2011.
Okay.
Then he kept getting those migraines.
Yeah, he always got those. If he didn't smoke before the game, he got them.
Yeah. All right, Frank says, what are your thoughts on Trey Sermon? Who's got some ideas about him?
Yeah, Trey Sermon is going to be a startable RB. He's going to be a top 12 RB in some weeks. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to finish as a RB 12, but he will have some weeks where he peak. Now, if the other running backs go down, you're going to have to wait and see about that. Then he can be an RB 12. But yeah, Trey Sermon is worth a pickup in the later rounds.
Cortland, I love him.
And Stu said a healthy Moss over Singletary.
I don't know, man. Can Moss catch like that? That was pretty good.
I think that's been Moss's downfall, but he didn't really get it done on the goal line. He had some opportunities. When he failed, it was Allen who always ended up putting it in.
So check this out, guys. Today the score, apparently a verified, website, got the blue check and everything. They say there's a report from, I guess, Adam Scheffler that Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott may not be back all season long as he continues to deal with various injuries.
I said that. I made a video and I told people to fade him. People talk junk about me. I told you that.
Not only should we be fading Dak, do we now have to think at the whole Cowboys?
Yep. So I said this earlier.
Differently?
Nope. You keep CeeDee Lamb. You keep CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb. What about Cooper?
Cooper, I might fade. Quarterback? I might fade him too.
Where's the quarterback?
At the price that they're going though, that's another thing too. I mean, I know we got CeeDee Lamb in the 4th here, but it's a super flex. He was going single QB 3rd round. I've seen him go 3rd round even in some super flexes. So I think that price is definitely going to be too rich for my blood.
Yeah.
You already knew that he was one of my guys too. And
now does this give Zeke more value or less value?
Less value.
Because last
Look
year
at
he
him
didn't look
last
great
year.
without.
Listen, I love the Cowboys. I've been fading the whole team because it don't. Listen, guys, I don't know why nobody's talking about. He had an ankle injury, a serious ankle injury. You think this guy gonna throw for 5,000 yards off an ankle injury where it folded over like that?
Yeah,
It's gonna take him a little bit of time.
Well, I mean-
Worst case, best case scenario with his arm never hurting, he probably picks up about week 5, 6, or 7 where he's throwing a lot of tubs and you can get some value. But week 1 all the way up to week 7, just to come back and do that, guys, he's gonna have same thing with Joe Burrow. It takes time. That's why I'm fading. I'm not fading him because he's a bad player. It just the offense don't feel it doesn't feel good. But listen, guys, the defense, to get off subject a little bit, the defense is gonna be really good this year, though. But go ahead.
Man, I'm just like, and then the other thing I was seeing also is in San Francisco, they really want to have whatchamacallit be the starter. They really want Jimmy G to be the starter.
I feel like I should be listening to Garth Brooks right now. That Thunder rolls.
Yeah, who's got Thunder over there by the
Steven, I'm mad jealous. We had a storm last night. It was pretty good, but damn, we didn't have thunder like that.
I'm under a tornado warning.
Oh, that's awesome. We get those out here too.
I'm telling you, Burrow scares me a little bit too because of exactly what you said, and he seems to show some hesitancy, which makes sense. It's like if you were in a car accident, when you're behind the car, you start getting freaked out a little bit when you see those brake lights, just because you got flashbacks. Ward, they had PTSD after certain traumatic events because it changes the way your mind thinks.
That's awesome.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens to Burrow, and they didn't get him
timing.
What happened?
That was perfect timing on the thunder drop in the background, talking about
Dude, it's
Burrow.
awesome.
Like I'll
turn my sound off.
No, you don't.
Jamar Chase might be a flop.
Yeah, I get Jamar Chase as his boy,
Dude.
but they should have went with
He's not gonna be a flop.
They should have went with an offensive lineman or Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, or trade back.
Trade back.
Trade back.
Which pick are you, TD? You're the 8th, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Jeremy's asking here. Yep, he's the 8th. Started off with Lamar Jackson. Oh shit, Bogart in the house. Give me money. Said my guy Jimmy had 49ers, had the second highest scoring offense in 2019. Only behind
I think Jimmy's going to be the guy all year. And then next year, I think they're going to do the Mahomes. Trey Lance, because Trey Lance was playing in a nothing conference too. It's not like he was playing against NFL talent. So I just think that you might see Trey Lance just spend a whole year sitting, learning, cultivating. They like his talent, they like his upside, and next season he takes over.
How was Carson right out of college? He played for the same school.
Carson Wentz?
Yeah, same
Hey,
school.
is Buda Baker gone already?
Nope.
I can't find him.
Just put it in. Just put in Baker.
I did, and it's Jerome Baker and Blake Martinez.
Type in Buddha.
Okay. I ain't got time. Never mind.
I got it for you.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Tap in.
Yeah, you already know. I know where Buddha's at. All right, so
I like
Heart to Start, Kev. Thanks for getting in the IDP mock, bro. So what do you guys think about my 2 first IDP picks? Did I pick them too early? Should I go LB over or should I go linebacker over defensive line? What's the popular strategy? Yeah, usually depending on who it is, like TJ Watt, he's always going to go early because he can get plugged in as a D lineman, even though he's a linebacker. But I like the picks that you got, Aaron Donald and Chase Young. For this, you probably did draft them a little bit too early. You probably could have got them a little later. I probably would have went with like a top 5 linebacker right there. And I would say there's usually with D linemen, they're kind of like tight ends, where there's like a couple at the top that are really, really good, and then the rest you can kind of just wait and get and mix in. Linebackers, those are kind of like the running backs of defense. So, top 12 linebackers, like they're going to be really solid for you for sure.
So then DBs would be your receivers?
DBs kind of are like the receivers, I would say. Yeah, because you can wait on them a little bit. I mean, there is a few like at the top, like Jamal Adams, Buda Baker, that, the cream rises to the top with guys like that. But once you get past like the 3rd and 4th guy, I would say the next like 15 guys are very interchangeable.
Man, So I guess everyone hates Thomas this year.
No,
because Michael Thomas going in the 9th round is a super steal.
Yeah, I thought about him, but I was just like, I can't pass up on some other guys. I mean, at least they're playing all year. I mean, this is redraft.
That's true. Now, points wise, how many points? Like the defense is, if I look at the projected points, they're only projected to get like 22, 24 points, 19 points.
What's wrong with that?
Points. But if you compare it to the wide receivers that are getting like 160, wouldn't it make more sense to like? I'm just asking because obviously I'm not an IDP guy. Doesn't it make more sense to just wait till these later rounds if you're saying that a lot of these guys bunch up to get some of the almost like IDP 0?
I think this is because it's not an IDP league that we're drafting.
It's not too heavy. It's not too heavy in these ones right now, but it really depends. That's why, like when we were talking, Taco, you always talked about you got to know your settings, you got to know your scoring, you got to know your roster positions, all that kind of stuff. Because if you're starting like 5 or 6 like defensive players, you don't really, you don't want to go 0 linebacker. You'll really get screwed because those top like 12 and 15, like those are like difference makers. DBs, you get past the first 5 or 6, you can wait a little bit for sure, but it's really just like if you play in a Superflex league and you miss the quarterback run. Like if you really miss the run of the player, that's when you get screwed. So you just don't want to put yourself in a position where you miss a big run in any position and you don't even have one player at that position.
Yep. I feel like that's how I felt when I looked at Stafford and Brady. I was just hoping I can get one of those two guys. Getting both of them was great. I was hoping for Tannehill, Lawrence, Hurts, maybe one of those guys, but yeah, I had to go back to back there. I think I ended up lucking out because Kelsey early kind of just made everything else super easy.
I was hoping that either Stafford or Brady would fall to me with the next pick, and no QBs even went after him. That once you get after Stafford, Brady, we can even throw Hurts in there. The tier drop off, you're pretty much going to like after QB 15, at that point. So it's already
wrong one. I picked
I totally agree with you, and that's why I had to make that pull. I gotta say, I like Logan Thomas a lot this year too, as a tight end.
Oh yeah.
Oh, who's that?
I meant to go Simmons there, but I clicked the wrong one.
I can't even find the quarterback.
Man.
Like I see him, but it's not none of the, like I know there's some couple guys out here that I haven't seen drafting. I don't see them.
So I think you got to put the first name in, is what it is. Sleeper. Okay. Where you literally got to put in the first name.
Okay, now I see. I still had Buddha in there. That's what was going on.
Winston and Gadget Man aren't the answer. They will either need to lean on Murray more than what they think. Hey. I already think that they're going to go heavy running back. Why wouldn't they?
They are. They're going to run the ball more than anybody else.
And Steven, he said he lost power, so he might not be drafting the rest of the way.
Oh, yeah, that storm was close.
Yeah, that shit sounded loud.
Oh, where is he located?
He's in
Tennessee somewhere, right?
Shit, I'm over here in New York on Long Island, so we're actually in the path of this storm too. It's supposed to hit us. Really. Oh my God. There it goes. Antonio Gibson. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm watching.
What happened?
I'm watching porn over here on the NFL network. NFL Network. So just a nice little play action dump off from Fitzpatrick right to Gibson. A PPR dream right here. Like, and if they're gonna use Gibson, I already seen him getting the rushes. It looks like Gibson is gonna be the focal point of this offense, man.
He's in Mississippi.
Dude, he real talk should be a first. Moving up to that first round pick.
Don't.
I think that I see a lot of people have Najee over him. I can't understand that personally. I can't understand Taylor still going over him. Nick Chubb, I ain't picking Nick Chubb over Gibson. That's for real. Same thing with Elliott. Shit, it's getting to the point where I'm gonna have to start thinking about Gibson or Barkley. Like real talk.
Well, we already said Gibson over Barkley. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but for me, I'm a homer here. I'm a New York guy here. That's where I could kind of be like, well, it's Barkley. Like when he's healthy,
Washington's pretty close.
Yeah, listen, I'm a Giant, bro. We hate them. Close to the hate.
Set your IDP queues, guys, because the ADP is all fucked up right now. I don't know what's going on, but I'm about to go bash Sleeper on Twitter and ask him what the hell's going on.
You can go on here too and then talk to him. You can actually do. I've had problems in my league with some stuff, and I actually went on here and they responded within like
who was
an
that?
hour.
JD McKissick?
Well, hey Hustler, did you set up the scoring? Because the scoring could make it off.
No, so you can't set up the scoring in the mocks. So what's weird is they implemented the scoring, the IDP 1, 2, 3 scoring that my man Jordan does with the IDP army. And so when they did that, it pretty much fixed when they changed the ADP also, it fixed a bunch of stuff. And literally this is the first mock that everything is like all out of whack.
Ooh.
Okay.
And Chewy 23, what up, bro? So no, we didn't answer your question. We'll get to it now. I got Chubb, Eckler, AJ Brown, Waller, Rogers as my 5-man keeper in my league. I got the second pick in the 6th round. Do I reach on Hunt, or is that the perfect time to get him in the 6th round? Like Hunt's already kind of going there, so I don't think that that's too much of a reach.
I think that Hunt that high is a little bit too expensive for my taste, to be honest. I get that he's a safe, solid guy, but you still have Chubb there. His upside is limited. Like, he only can do really good if there's an injury. And even last year when the injury was, he didn't do that great. But he was still a top 25 guy, which is a weird situation to put him at because he's consistent. He plays pretty good, but his upside is limited. Like, if you're looking at a guy, like, who went in? Where did Hunt go in this draft? Hunt.
He went in the 7th.
I would take Carter over Hunt.
Oh God, Steven.
Damn, I wanted Michael Parsons.
I would take Edmonds over Hunt, but that's more of a risk. Like, because I think that Edmonds could be good. A lot of people don't.
It's weird for me because I'm a little bit on the opposite. Because if we go back and look last year, I swear Hunt did better when Chubb was there.
No, you're right. You're right. He did better with Chubb there, right?
More
right. They were like, I think they were like 8 and 10. I think they were like RB 9 and 10.
When whatchamacallit wasn't there, he did worse. And that was just like
when he
that's
had
scary to me.
But they don't know how to use Hunt. Hunt is a passing down back too, so you just can't bell cow him like he Nick Chubb.
Yeah, but then that scares me because if he doesn't have that bell cow capabilities once he goes down, then wouldn't you rather try to shoot for a bell cow there or a guy who could be a bell cow? That's why I'm saying he's a little too expensive to me.
Bogart, we're right here, bro. I can't stand the play calling in Arizona. Probably the only thing I worry about with these running backs. So last year, I was talking shit like every week because they were just not running Drake the right way, like the entire time. And when they finally did it versus TD's Cowboys, when Drake like went off, like the only game he really like went off like crazy. That was the only game they really like ran him the right way and did it between the tackles, you know, where he was getting some of his money. Yeah, that I don't know what it is with Arizona, but what is it? Kingman is the coach's name, right?
No, Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, Kingsbury.
Kingsbury. There you go. Yeah, he's fucking up. I think he's overthinking it a little bit too much.
Well, Alex, I think he's focused his offense around the receivers, so he just need a running back to be a plug guy to keep the defense honest. I don't think he's really trying to get the best out of you and use you in the right way. That's not his scheme. His scheme is to do that to his receivers.
Break down the difference, TD, between Chase Edmonds and James Conner this year. How do you think that's all going to shape out?
So in the green zone, he's going to be used a lot for James Conner because he's a bigger back, and it's going to be able to keep Chase Edmonds healthy all year to go out and have 7, 8 catches type games. And Chase Edmonds is going to get some touches too, but James Conner going to get the bulk if he can stay healthy. So yeah, they just going to rotate those guys, but James Conner could have 10 plus touchdowns if Kyler Murray has the season that we think he can have.
There's my homer pick.
Not a bad one, because especially last year, I mean, if you drafted a little bit early before he got hurt, like he was still the number 1 defensive lineman, like off the board. Yeah, and so
he's scary.
If he can get back to what he was, you know, last couple years, and the line's looking a little bit better now, than it has in recent years, especially at the DT position. So I'm excited to see what happens with Hunter this year.
Vikings are such a hit or miss team, man. It's so hard to watch them. I mean, I've been to a lot of games too, so I mean,
KD, you know we don't call him Hollywood Brown around here. Or you got to use him by his full name, Hollywood Florida Brown, because he's been slacking. He doesn't deserve a primetime name like Hollywood Brown anymore. But yeah, definitely need someone like Brown or Lamb, speed guys that can take on the jet sweeps for sure. Hopefully Rondell Moore is going to be that dude this year. Like, I'm so excited to watch Rondell Moore and see how they get him in the mix.
That's a guy that I was looking at the other day when I was looking at ADPs, because he's in tier 7, tier 8 of the wide receivers. But who's going to be the wide receiver 2 for the Cardinals? Like, that's a question.
AJ Green.
Until he gets hurt.
Is it?
That's what you say, though, Hustler. I see what you're saying about injury prone, but with him not being a number one, you don't think he can pace himself through the season, through practice, and be able to be healthy for the games?
But we shall see. Is
Rondell Moore at this point more of a athletic upside, big play guy where he's good? Because last year, let's look at it. A lot of plays went to Kirk. And Murray was able to use Kirk off of Hopkins. I think that it could be a situation where you might see, Moore being the vertical target in this offense, which would give him some solid value. And then if they fold him in, like, I think it could be more valuable than Green, just from what I'm seeing so far in preseason. Green scares me because over the last 2-3 seasons, he hasn't really played.
No, he hasn't, but him one-on-one with the number 2 or number 3 corner for a jump ball post, it's money all day if he's healthy. Now, if he can't make it out of practice and be healthy, but if he can go into the game, I feel good with AJ Green being a double-digit touchdown guy, because we're going to take D-Hop away, keep Kyler Murray in the box, and then you have to draw up some plays for AJ Green. And I feel like he can get open on the number 2 corner.
How do you really take D-Hop away, though? Dude, he catches he's so
good. They're going to try. They're going to put the number 1 corner on D-Hop. That's what I'm saying.
He's going to have 3 corners on him. He's going to catch a fucking football.
I agree.
AJ Green sounds like he could be the wide receiver version of Bobby Tonyan this year. Because Tonyan was catching all those touchdowns, but them yards and everything else wasn't there. But he was still a top 5 tight end just because of those touchdowns. And it might be a situation where Green, because you're really right about in those red zone situations, they are going to be doubling D-Hop. They don't have a bona fide tight end.
Nope.
The running game is suspect at best. Like, we think Edmonds could take the job, but in goal line situations where it's bunched up like that, how much do you really trust Edmonds? Kyler Murray's going to be a runner, but other than that, who's his second option if D-Hop has everyone on it? I think you're right, AJ. That's where AJ Green could really shine. And it's like, you don't necessarily need him all throughout the game to be making some of these catches, but in that red zone area, if he becomes that big body target who can get positioning, like you said, for a jump ball in the corner, and now he has 12 touchdowns, 13 touchdowns, and he was going undrafted, people are going to start looking at a player like that. That's to me why I'm looking at situations like that. Who's going to be a number 2 wide receiver for some of these top quarterbacks and these top offenses? Because some of them are going really underrated. We were talking about KC's situation. Who's really going to be the number 2 there? Because we know Tyreek Hill and Kelsey have injury issues sometimes. Kelsey less likely, but Hill with those hamstrings, that's a question mark. And I want a piece of one of those guys because they have real upside.
So Zach Moss is in the game. He's playing.
Nice.
Yeah. Damn, I get Bengals in Washington over here. And
I got Bills in Chicago. Well, I mean, that's why it says Chicago.
You're on NFL Network?
This is NFL Network. But it's because it's because of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Midwest.
I was like,
we get
maybe
Chicago
it's a game on Fox or something that I'm missing.
I like this pick a lot, Gesicki, man. Especially how Tua's been only throwing to his tight ends.
Tua's, man, he is going to pepper the tight ends. I mean, I know in college he used to go down the field a lot. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the play calling or him just being a little hesitant about uncorking it. But, yeah, Gesicki, I feel like after you get past Pitts and Hawkinson, I feel like he's the next guy for me.
He is. So, guys, tell me, Hustler, what you think about Kyle Pitts? Give me his numbers at the end of the season this year.
Shit. So I haven't even projected like anything like that. But I mean, if he is really the guy that we think that he's going to be, which is, you know, the number 2, maybe the number 3 target, you know, just in general. I mean, we're talking about him flirting with 80 receptions, you know, I mean, potentially 100 targets, because I don't see them running it a crazy amount. Like Mike Davis, I mean, I don't know if he's going to be a bell cow. I just don't see it. But I think he can flirt with, you know, 80 to 100 targets. I mean, somewhere between like 70 and 80 receptions. I mean, maybe like flirting with close to 1,000 yards, maybe somewhere in like the 900 range. And I mean, fuck, double-digit TDs. Like, obviously, I mean, that's his ceiling. But I feel like we saw him beasting in some of the camp footage. And you're telling me you don't want a 6'5", like, big body receiver? You know, like over the middle, like my man Enzo said when talking about someone who's 6'5". You can't teach that. You just can't teach that size.
Taco on the clock.
Mm-hmm. And there we go. KD 70, 806 TDs. And that's probably like more what he'll really finish like. That's the more modest. I'm just reaching ceiling on Pitts because I got him in a couple places, especially the Scott Fish Bowl. So yeah, he goes for 1,000 yards and 10 TDs and 80 touchdowns. I'm gonna be sitting pretty.
So Huss, what I try to anybody that talks about Pitts anywhere, I just try to tell them you have to stop looking at him as a tight end.
Yeah,
you need to start.
He's a receiver. He's a receiver.
Receiver.
Yes, he is. That's why I feel like I got
him like that.
Yep. And I honestly, Hustler, I think I got a cheat code.
Yeah, because I mean, I know that in college they lined him up like on the line, like I don't even know, like 90+% of the time, like he was a traditional tight end. But I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I think they can easily split him, you know, into the slot, you know, like they do Kelsey, like they do guys like Waller, like easily.
Yep. 100%.
I'll be honest, if they're gonna like, I came into the season, I was extremely bullish on Pitts. I had him at his max, and since then I've come down on him a little bit just because, like, when you're watching guys like Russell Gage, let's just say, right, we've seen a lot of footage now of Gage making some of these big plays. You have Calvin Ridley. If they are gonna play him out wide, and they're gonna play him at tight end, that actually might be enough where it might lower his value just a little bit, where he's not like, I'm not saying he's not going to be a tight end 1, but he might not hit that ceiling that, like, we're thinking he can come close to matching the top 3. Like, we think he's going to be closer to that Kittle, Waller, Kelsey level, and he might just be close to that TJ Hockenson, Mark Andrews level, I feel like, because you might see them, if they are playing him a little bit more wide and they do play 2 tight end sets, we might see Hayden Hurst, who's still on the team, have more of a role than we think about. And that is like, I'm very like up and down on Pitts. I feel like I'm bipolar on Pitts because some days I'm just like, this dude's going to be a cheat code. And the other days I'm just kind of like, well, his value right now is like so high that do I want to spend the capital in case he's not, it's his first season. Like, he hasn't done it yet. I don't know for a fact it's going to happen. I'm projecting it. If he had done it already, then, you know, his value is solidified. It's okay. But he still hasn't done it yet. He's a rookie. There's a learning curve. And are you
he just needs to learn how to be what Kelsey does. He needs to learn how to break the, or, you know,
right,
block and then release really quick and go.
Right.
If you can learn that quick, you're going to be really good at your position. Especially with the talent he has in catching the ball. Well,
but he's not going to be asked to block.
If he can learn to do what Kelsey does, it's just block and release. You just have to learn how to block quick and release and go. And that's what he needs to learn. Kelsey does it all the time.
Well, and look at what Bogart said, because he was doing that. I mean, obviously it's college. You're talking about different level of grown men, you know, when it comes to the NFL. But 50% of Kyle Pitts' receptions in college came out of blocking in line. So he was asked to be that traditional tight end, you know, in college. And that's something that he was doing. It's not like he wasn't blocking. So I feel like, I mean, there's different levels to this. Like we said, it's a different level of grown men that are going to be out there.
Right.
But us talking about him blocking, I feel like it's irrelevant to fantasy because he's not going to be asked to do that it's like asking Shannon Sharp, how did Shannon Sharp block? Well, it didn't matter. Maybe at the end of his career when Baltimore needed him to block to win that Super Bowl. But this year, Kyle, they're like, Kyle, don't worry about blocking. We'll ask you here and there to do it, to keep the defense honest, but you're gonna be lining, you're going out in routes 90% of the time. You're not going to be blocking. Hey, like you said, JC Money, Hayden Hurst is going to be there. And also, what's your name again? I'm sorry.
Tago
said it too. Like Hayden Hurst is going to be blocking more for the blocking.
Now,
well, and I think more or less, it really just takes the argument away that if he has to block, he's going to get screwed. I think.
Okay. I don't think that's the issue. I just think that it's being a rookie, because like what Jefferson did is unique. Now, I don't know if what Jefferson has done is going to set a new standard of these rookies coming in and just balling out the gate, because we are seeing younger players produce at a higher level faster. But with it being his first season and you having to take him in the fourth, the fifth round, is it better to wait for a Mark Andrews, who we've seen do it? Jackson, we're all thinking, has a bounce back season, and getting a guy who'll be close to Pitts, but for a lot less price. That's kind of where I'm at now. I'm either spending for the top three. I want to shoot for Pitts, and if I miss Pitts, I'm looking at Andrews. I'm looking at Thomas.
I love Andrews. I love Andrews this year. A lot of people don't doubt him, but I love Andrews. He's the most efficient tight end in history,
bro. And you think about it, he's going in because people are so down on him. He's going in the 7th round, 8th round, 9th round, and I feel like, to me, that's almost where I'm having my problem, because I'm like, I could spend this capital on a tight end early, but if I'm getting Andrews in the 9th round, man, I do like Pitts, but that's a lot less risky at a lot less price. And then I'm probably stacked at, wide receiver and quarterback and running back. So that it's like, I'm freaking stacked, and I could take an Andrews. And then I've been saying I like to pair him with a guy like Higbee, or pair him with a guy like Everett, or one of these guys that has that upside. So I'll go with Andrews and a guy like that. So I might have 2 tight ends. I might have 1 tight end, but with the capital expenditure, if you're looking at it, Pitts or Robinson, that's freaking hard to take down Robinson, who's been a top 12 wide receiver for the last 2-3 years with no quarterback. And God forbid that Fields comes in and is a beast.
Ooh. Well, it depends on if it's tight end premium.
That's 100% correct.
Yes. So in Hustler, he has a fantasy league. I took him in the 2nd to 3rd round turn, and a lot of people got on me. It was like, man, that's way too early. Yeah. But for Dynasty and him be getting a lot of targets, 1.5, like he's not going to be targeted like a regular tight end.
That's the other thing. Yes. In Dynasty formats, he's number 1 in my opinion. He's the guy that you want to get because you have him for a long period. But in redraft, where it's like you have him just for this season on, I'm a little more shaky, because I think that next season for Pitts is going to be where he really just full beast mode, because it's a year of understanding, because he's going to be asked to play a hybrid role, it sounds like. And if he's going to do that, how well does he adapt to that? How good is he at fitting in? How good is the offensive play callers at using his talent? Because the way we're talking about him being used, you have to have an offensive coordinator that knows what he has.
That's true. But I think he's going to be used like Julio. He's going to replace Julio for them. Like, far as the target, so out of 150 targets, let's say he gets what? That's easy to say he gets 80 out of those 150 targets.
That's the thing, though, with the way Gage is playing. Does Gage take that role from him this year? Because it could be a situation for the year where maybe it's like Ridley, Gage. And the other thing is, Ridley is also very injury prone. Because Ridley could go down at any time, and then it's
that's going to hurt Pitts. That'll hurt Pitts because they'll double team him. You're right.
Yep.
So last year I was on Gage real early, because the first 2 games of the season, it was like all 3 of their wide receivers, Julio, Ridley, and Gage, they all balled out. Like, they all got a crazy amount of targets. But when there started to be injuries, when Julio went down, Gage was like non-existent when he had to go into the second wide receiver role. So that's what makes me a little bit nervous. I know he's balling out in camp right now, but I really want to see, when Ridley's the number 1, because he did good, when he was the number 1.
During that time, he did show some flashes to Gage last season when Jones was out, because I remember I picked him up in that middle of the season when Jones was out, and I was relying on him, and he was solid. Like, he's a solid guy, and I think that Pitts helps him. I think having a championship helps him. And the question is, with Pitts there to help him, does he start eating so much? Like, you know what I mean? It's a situation where you do have the third corner on him, or your third option on defense, and is he able to feast enough on that where it's like Pitts is nice, but this is the matchup because Matt Ryan is a quarterback. He's not a thrower. He knows his matchup. He's gonna make his pre-snap read and be like, Gage, you have the good matchup here. I'm gonna go to you. And let's face it, with Pitts and Julio, the defensive coordinator is gonna have to put more talented players on them, which is gonna open Gage up. And that's why, to me, Gage is becoming one of the biggest sleepers and one of the guys that I feel like I almost have to own. Like, because if you're drafting him in the 10th, 11th round, that's a buy, especially in redraft. Like, I'll take that risk in the 11th round on Gage.
But Taco, what about Mike Davis? Because I know Mike Davis. Yeah, I do too. Listen, he won't have any big runs, Hustler, because he's not as talented as a Dalvin Cook and or Antonio Gibson. But if this offense is efficient, doesn't it make the running back efficient too?
Yeah, and he's a good pass catcher.
Yeah, like, he is. He's a good pass catcher.
Yeah, so I love Mike Davis this year. It speaks to your point of like that's why I'm more of like a modified RB0, where it's like I'll take maybe one guy early and then I'm shooting for a Mike Davis in the 4th, 5th round. Like, he's the guy. Like, I'll take a running back first round, second and third round, I'll take like something else. Then that 4th, 5th round, if I can get Davis as my RB2, I'm sitting there in heaven. Like, I have first round pick in a 14-team league. And our goal is we take McCaffrey 1, right? So 1 QB league. We're gonna probably take wide receiver, 2, 3. Then I'm gonna try to shoot the shot on getting another running back in the 4th round.
Dude, do not draft any Bears. Do not draft any Bears. Nagy's gonna get fired this year for sure.
Wow, what happened?
Oh my God, the team looks terrible. They can't move the ball, dude. It's 27-0 right now.
It's just
in the second quarter. 8 minutes
Justin
in the second
Fields?
quarter.
Has Justin Fields came in?
No, Andy Dalton looks terrible, dude. Dalton looks absolutely. Doesn't even matter. I don't think it matters. It's Nagy's play calling.
I don't know, man.
But Justin Fields can take Nagy play calling and take it to another level.
Yeah,
we'll see.
So, but this
he
is what
know what to do with his players. That's
he
the
doesn't.
bad thing.
Real quick. I hold on real quick. I brought up Russell Gage's like stats from last year just because I wanted just because I remember last year there was a couple games where he shined, but his first 2 games, I mean, those were like some of the best games of the season that he had. 114 yards. That was his best game for sure. 9 receptions, 114 yards. Week 2 was going to be good until Julio dropped that pass that Russell Gage threw him.
Yeah, but then week 13 through 15, he was on fire again. He came back alive like a moth in the night. You know what I mean? Dude was balling. If he could have did that for week 16, I'd have been so much better. But you know what I mean? He was there. And then week 17, he blew up. So he ended hot.
Week 16, that was like one of his worst weeks of the season. So
right. But if you look at week 13 through 17, he had, one bad game. And I think what we've seen in camp and with his upside and with the way that offense is now going to be built, I think that, again, he's going in the 11th, 12th, 13th round. I think that screams buy.
It's a decent buy.
Yeah.
That's for sure. All right, let's see. Someone just asked, who has the best team? So let's look around real quick, and let's just see right off the bat who are some teams that we like. And it's crazy because I do kind of like Heart to Start Kev, even though he didn't know too much about IDP. Ended up coming up with some solid IDP picks. I guess the running backs is the only thing that makes me a little nervous about his.
I wanted Edwards. I wanted Gus. I wanted Gus to fall to me. That was what I was hoping for, but
how y'all have like 3 quarterbacks? That means you're missing a bench spot. Because at the end, I just took defensive players to fill out the team, so I was just like defense.
It's super flex. Well, I mean, I took Deshaun Watson as my QB too, so I got to keep myself safe.
Yeah, but if you have 3 QBs, you have somebody not. You're missing a starter, right?
No, there's 2 bench spots.
Yeah,
there is.
Yeah.
Shit.
Taco, gotta know your settings, bro.
Oh wait, yeah, no, I do have 2 benches. Actually, I'm sorry. Odell Beckham's on the bench and Edmonds is on the bench. Damn.
There we go. Yeah,
okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, like for me, my bench spots were Javonte Williams and Big Ben. So I took 3 QBs because my starting QBs are Baker Mayfield and Ryan Fitzpatrick. So I'm definitely behind the 8 ball with the QB game.
I think I agree with you, man. Hard to start. Kev probably has like my favorite team. That's not mine. I think Cruiser has an interesting team.
Yeah, because he's still. I mean, his top 4. I mean, I don't like Ryan that much, but from where he got him in a super flex, that's not
Right. And
I
then
mean,
he still got Jimmy G just in case.
Yeah, and got T. Higgins and Mark Andrews, like you said, Mark Andrews in the 7th. I mean, that's
good value.
2 rounds later, almost than T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah, I think him and Hawkinson. I think he could be better than Hawkinson because Hawkinson became the favorite sleeper because there's nobody there, but there's nobody there. Like, like that's gonna hurt him too because guess what? The defensive coordinator be like, let's shut down Hawkinson and then let's see what else
tearing it up.
Yep, KD QB in the flex position. So this is a super flex draft. So you can start 2 QBs instead of just 1.
And I like Ron's name too. I like that one too, except I think he needed to draft another QB.
Yeah,
I love my team. Like, are you telling me I got Barkley, and then I got 3 running backs just in case Barkley's not good, and then Michael Thomas in the 9th round. Like when he comes back.
Yep. And I think so. We were talking about Andrews, and I feel like the reason why, I mean, at least I was down on Andrews a little bit last year. Really, his snap percentage. I mean, he's got to be super, super efficient. And last year, it wasn't as efficient as the year before.
Nah, man. Yo, Andrews was pissing me off. He had a lot of drops last year. I feel like especially in the red zone. Yeah,
in the end zone.
Yeah,
he really dropped at least 3.
I remember that because I had him on my team, and I was just sitting there. And I'm a red zone like fanatic. That shit has cracked me, bro. I'm there from the start to the end, just like every touchdown. Me and Sky Hansen go way back, maybe. We watch every football play together because it's so bad. I'll be at the bars asking for red zone. So, like, you know how bad it is.
Yeah, so. I can't deal. Last time I went to the bar, like, was when I only had when I couldn't get the red zone, like on the cable.
See, I would go to the bar if it's like okay, let's say we have Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady playing, and then we also have maybe like Mahomes and Jackson playing. And then if there's like 3 or 4 really good matchups, then I'll go to the bar. So they have the direct TV joint set up, so I can look at whatever TV I want, and I do that in the finals. I feel like because then it's just like, all right, I'm me versus one guy. I'm gonna be checking it, but I do not want to miss a single play for my quarterback. Like, you know what I mean? Like those games are must watch.
And I can't wait. I geek out because I got 2 screens on my computers here, and I got all the games streaming, and then I still got Red Zone in there just in case I happen to miss something real quick on one of the games.
Yeah, I got that new bootleg app, so apparently I should be able to see out of market games. Hopefully,
there you go. Hell yeah. Yeah, I was using Crack Streams last year, and I think they finally shut all that down.
They did, man. That shit that messed me up, man.
I heard they had that shit on Reddit for a while, and then that shit got shut down.
Yep. Yeah, so I got a Fire Stick specifically for my my
I think that's what everybody Fire Stick has become the new craze.
Yeah, did y'all know they got NFL Total Access now on Hulu?
No, I didn't.
That's crazy.
Does that have Red Zone too?
I don't know about Red Zone. But
I heard that Red Zone might finally be, because that's the thing about Red Zone right now. It's only on cable. Like they don't have it on a streaming joint where I could be like, because I want to ditch my whole sports package, because the only reason I'm paying for the sports package is for this, because the Yankees and the Knicks are on the regular shit. So I don't fucking need MLB Network. Like I don't need you guys. NBA Network, I don't really need you guys. But NFL Network, y'all got the Thursday game.
I wish I could show the replay of what just happened. So Andy Dalton, I don't even know who the receiver is.
Abrams.
Abrams.
JJ Abrams. Is it
he got picked off?
No.
He no, I mean it was a catch where it was Adams, number 13 on the Bears. I don't even know who he is. Yeah, caught it pretty much like the ball was underthrown and it was like right behind the defender's head, and he like got over his head, grabbed it, and housed it.
And the defender had just ate popcorn too, so he like slipped all off him.
Yeah,
man,
he was all up on him, and he missed the
what was that?
Nice.
He got blocked. Damn, that was a nice
Knicks
touchdown.
is gonna be a problem this year. We actually better. I know a lot of Knicks fans hate it, but we kept all our draft pick capital. We upgraded at the point guard. We upgraded at the shooting guard, and we got to hope the young kids get better.
That was
Yeah,
I can't wait for basketball. Oh my god, I'm ready,
Knicks are
bro.
finally getting back in it.
Yo, it's so good to actually like. What it sucks is when you have a home team that you're a fan of, and they suck for like goddamn 20 years, your whole fucking childhood. So you got to be in school like, you Knicks fan, like shut the hell up.
I'm a Chargers fan for the longest time, man. Nobody
Bro,
knows.
I'm from Minnesota. I'm from Minnesota, dude, and we don't win anything.
Man,
we got the Lynx. We got the Minnesota Lynx. They win us championships. So
right.
girls
Well,
basketball
hopefully now you're gonna have A-Rod delivering some chips out there for you.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Doubt it.
Oh, there we go. We couldn't get through the episode without clowning Justin a little bit. He said J.J. Abrams, isn't that the film producer?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I saw Abrams.
Yeah, it was Adams.
He trying to trade me for Trey Lance.
Yo, do you think Trey Lance plays this year?
Yes. I don't know if he's the starter, but he does come in the game and play.
He's gonna be
Bogart. He killing me for he won't Trey Lance bad, man. But he won't give up Michael Carter. I want Michael Carter, but he won't give him up. But he won't Trey Lance.
You like Michael Carter this year?
Yes, I do. For Dynasty.
What about a redraft? Like the Jets situation is one that I've been very interested in because all of them are going late. Carter offers that passing upside because I do play PPR. But you have Coleman there, who was from that 49ers offense, last season, and that's where I believe that's where they get their offensive coordinator from as well, right?
Yes.
So how much, how do you think that plays out, that running back situation?
I don't know. His film is awesome. His college film is awesome.
Yes,
man, he cuts hard.
That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, he's still not a better, and this is a different topic. He's not a better running back than Puka Williams, but yeah, he's a good player. But with the Jets, it's Tevin Coleman stays hurt, and PPR back, Michael Carter could be the best PPR back. He could be like a younger Austin Eckler this year, so he could finish as a RB top 24 guy.
Interesting, because I've been looking at Carter late, and he's growing on me more and more because I do think that volume is going to be there.
Yes,
and like you said. It's going to be, and the Jets just lost a defensive guy. I forgot his name. He was their big offensive signman, Shaq Lawson.
Carl Lawson.
And that, I mean, let's face it, that Jets defense is okay. It's not like great.
But it's going to play better. It's going to play better because they got a really great head coach, which is Robert Saleh. In that cover 3 scheme, it's some of the best schemes that's out right now.
So do you think that with the way that it is, they're going to be in more shootouts, or you think this is going to be more of a team that'll be more in these pounded out, grinded out games?
I think they're going to work the clock. So you're not going to have as many opportunities as you would have on normal teams. So they're going to grind it out on the ground, but they're going to pick their time to throw it deep and let the rookie run around and try to make plays too.
And then I guess the last question I have on the Jets for y'all, because I know I kind of got a couple quick questions. I like picking people's brains because you know what I mean. Sometimes when you're too close to a situation, you can get biased. So it's good to get other people's opinions. So you can kind of be like, well, I agree, I disagree, or see some things. But okay, so the Jets got, I think, 2 wide receivers that everyone's looking at later on. Because again, I like talking about these later picks because I feel like these are where you're actually gonna make your money. You're looking at a guy like Corey Davis, you're looking at a guy like Elijah Moore. I think we've seen Zach Wilson show that he might be better than we all thought he was. Which one of those 2 guys interests you more? Davis or Moore?
Elijah.
In PPR now, 1 point PPR. Elijah.
Redraft or Dynasty?
Redraft.
Elijah. If he's healthy and his legs is healthy, he's going to kill. He's got young legs, so he's going to have some big plays. I don't think we have a 1,000-yard receiver on here, but who's the guy that gets the targets? It's going to be between him and Corey Davis. So Corey Davis might give a few more targets, but touchdown upside will be Elijah Moore. Even A.J. Brown said how good Elijah Moore runs routes and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I seen him working out. I was like, damn, like dude looks crazy. And then I feel like they signed Crowder, who was the ultimate safety blanket for Darnold. I don't know how that works with Zach Wilson because I don't know how they're planning on using Crowder, but Crowder was like that slot guy du jour where he just might be like pass catching up, just you know what I mean? Like what's his face from the Patriots? Julian Edelman. It's like Julian Edelman don't get a lot of touchdowns, but he be getting all these catches like 5, 7, 8 yards, and that adds up. So I think, and again, PPR makes things interesting because normally those guys don't have value. Like in half point or standard, they don't have value, but now they do.
That's true. That's true, Bogart.
Bogart. Yep.
Here you go. Yeah, Elijah Moore losing precious field time to a calf injury right now. That makes a huge difference for these rookies, you know, getting the rapport with their QBs.
But you remember Odell Beckham, don't you? You remember what he did?
It took him a while though. Like he was
that's what I'm saying though. So, but he ended up being the number one the last, and that was like that's how you win championships for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
that's how I feel about Barkley now. He may not be the number one right now because they easing him back or whatever, but come playoff time, there's maybe like 3 running backs that can compete with Barkley, in my opinion. And when you're playing for the playoff, you either playing to win or you're playing not to lose. How you playing?
Yep. And okay, so just so everybody knows, you're not allowed to bring up Odell Beckham's rookie year on this show.
So then
I was in a league where he was like I picked him up a couple weeks before the whole thing, and I dropped him 2 weeks before he went off. And that's just anybody could bring it up this day. What was the worst move that I ever did? Dropping Odell Beckham 2 weeks before that run that would have won me a championship.
Now, here's my question: how does everyone feel about Odell this year? Because again, I got him 10th round. I'm skeptical on him. I think he can maybe be a wide receiver too.
I'm nervous as hell.
He's nasty. I'm not touching him because he's a good talent. Listen, I was thinking that Kansas City will make a trade for him. I thought they could get him for a 2nd or 3rd round pick and have the opposite of somebody that would help Tyreek. But Baker don't do good force feeding it to Odell. Right. He needs to just like Baker draw up plays and let him read who's the open guy and not have to throw it to like a veteran. Like you couldn't use Baker to throw it to Devontae Adams. Mm-hmm. That's not his game. He's not Aaron Rodgers. But if you just said read the open guy, Baker's really good. So I like Donovan People-Jones and I like Jarvis Landry value over Odell Beckham this year.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what it is? Like if they used him the way that they used him last year versus the Cowboys, you know, like you remember that game, that one game that he balled.
Didn't he get hurt like right after that?
Yeah, like
they finally figured out the coach.
On a pick, but it was on a pick. It was on the interception, so that's kind of like an outlier.
It was the jet sweep. I remember that. That was one of the big plays. I think they got him 2 big jet sweeps that he took, and yeah, if they could use him the way that they used him there and not just force feeding him vertically, I think that's, you know.
So at what point in a draft would you take an Odell? Because obviously we could be all out on the player, but there is at some point where you just be like, okay, at that point, I'm willing to take a risk on him. Like, is it like 10th round, 11th round? Like once you're in that spot, that's when you could stomach an Odell.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't drafted in this draft, so that lets you know there's value even worse in this draft.
No, what you mean? I took him in 10th round.
I see him going earlier than that.
Yeah,
like that
I took Michael Thomas and Odell back to back. I was like, one of them got to be good.
Yeah. Okay, let me see. Let me look.
I got Thomas in the 9th and Beckham in the 10th.
And I think because of so in this one, you only have to start 2 wide receivers. You can put a wide receiver in the flex. We only got 2 bench spots. But I feel like, I mean, you can see where the drop-off happened from wide receivers. It was like Claypool, Shark, and Sutton went, the 8th. And then literally after that, there's like 6 wide receivers taken the entire time. So I just don't think Odell is going in the 10th that often. That's why I really won't have him.
Right. And in a normal draft, he might be going like 7, 8, 9. But if let's just say you have Odell Beckham there and you have Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool got 3 other receivers that are there, but Ben Roethlisberger is better at force feeding.
It don't matter. It don't matter about he's the target guy out of that 3 guys. So that's maybe if you say
that's another one. Like Deontay Johnson seems like he might be that number 1 for them.
But he hasn't showed that he's gonna catch it consistently. So if I had to choose between Juju and Odell, that's maybe Odell in some drafts because he might get more targets than Juju, and Juju's on the 3. But when you talk about Claypool, he's the guy out of those 3 guys. So I don't think that's a fair comparison.
See, and here's the thing that sucks because when you look at Claypool, his second half, he started to die down. Like
that was Big Ben's arm. That was Big Ben's arm. He started. Big Ben wasn't throwing the ball deep, and then when he did, Claypool had a couple balls that I seen that I thought he could have caught, but it was like Big Ben wasn't doing what he normally do. So that's why I believe this year with the new offense where he's going to be like throwing slants and everybody knows he's throwing slants, but it's going to be fit into the offense is better than him trying to, okay, it's time for me to throw deep. He can't throw deep like that anymore. So they're going to force feed it to Najee. That's why I love the picks of Najee. When I asked Hustler, I was like, damn, Hustler, because I think Najee is going to get 20 carries a game, man. They're going to ask Big Ben to win playoff games. They're not going to ask him to chuck it around early in the season.
If that's the case, then everything you're saying, then you're telling me essentially Deontay Johnson is the ultimate red flag.
Yes.
Like he's going in the 5th, 6th round. He's going high, the highest of all those wide receivers. There, because last season the Steelers had 3 players in the top 25 PPR and wide receivers. All 3, both Juju, Claypool, and Deontay Johnson finished in the top 25, right? Mm-hmm. And
Juju
now
18,
you're going to add
believe.
Najee in, who's going to take volume, and you're not expecting them to force feed so much downfield. So not only is that going to change them having 3 wide receivers up top, it's going to change the whole dynamic of how they play because it's not going to be the same fast pace that they had. The expectations in all these guys probably has to be lowered. And where Claypool is going, he might be the only one that's, in Juju, they might be the values because let's face it, the whole offense is going to be depreciated. Claypool's ceiling might be a lot lower than it was last year.
Do you remember last year? Some of their best games that they had was when they got creative the way that they were using Claypool, getting him in the backfield, getting him at the jet sweeps.
Right.
Yes.
They would be stupid if they didn't go back and highlight and say, we got to do this.
But does that hurt Najee then? Like,
no, it doesn't hurt Najee. Nah. It doesn't hurt. It hurts Deontay. Deontay is a guy that when they try to pay him, maybe in a couple years, they're going to ask him. They're going to well, he's not going to get wide receiver 1 number. They're going to be a guy. Look, man, take the Pittsburgh Steelers home discount because he's not Antonio Brown. He's not some super duper wide receiver 1. He's just a good, like a guy that is just good for
you
the
think
Pittsburgh
they would pay Juju over him?
No, they
nah.
I don't think so. I don't know what it's going to depend on what I don't know what's going to happen this year. But if Juju continue to take a discount, yes, he will stay there. Steelers will take you if you take the discount.
I think that Juju next year is going to go for the money because the thing is with all the fans coming back and the cap possibly going up, that's why a lot of players took like these 1-year deals because they're like next year there's going to be more money out there. I don't want to lock myself into anything. So I think Juju, though, is playing a dangerous game. He reminds me of Dennis Schroeder from the NBA, from the Lakers. Lakers had offered him a big contract. He bet on himself. It didn't work out that way. He's losing a lot of money. I think Juju not taking a solid contract at this offseason. I heard the Jets and some other teams are going to pay him more money, give him a longer deal.
Kansas City, he should have went to KC. Oh, my God.
I think he's going to end up regretting that because, like you said, if this offense changes and he's not getting that much of a role, when you're going out into the open market trying to get money, you're going to have less money than you had last year because you're going to do less.
Well, guys, I think being at the Steelers, he knows his home. So I think he still makes a solid amount of money staying with Pittsburgh, and I think his longevity is bigger with Pittsburgh. He goes to Kansas City and can't be the number 2, then he gets phased out quick. But now with Pittsburgh, he can play 8, 9, 10 years as a slot, as a guy that I block really good. I'm a great player. I'm a great attitude type guy, and he can have a long career with them. But I don't think he goes to another team and say, "Look how dynamic I am. I can break out on route running." No, I think he needs to stick with Pittsburgh, and I think he knows that. And I don't think. Go ahead.
Big Ben. I mean, probably going to be his last season. I mean, I don't know if he's going to play more than this. Like that. That's got to change a lot of things for Juju. I mean, I got the rapport with Big Ben. He's not here anymore. Now I think the Steelers would have to pay a little bit, to keep him. But I don't even know if he's worth it and if the Steelers want to pay a wide receiver anyways.
Exactly.
Yep.
Rebuild.
Pretty much.
JC, good looking, getting the party started late. You already know with the super chats. Appreciate it, brother. All right. So we're an hour and a half in. I think this is a good time to get out of here. TD, why don't you shout out where everybody can find you at? And we're streaming on your channel right now. So appreciate it.
So guys, listen, go to my OnlyFans. You want 0 RB targets? You need help with your draft, especially your redraft. Because I know a lot of you already done your dynasty leagues, right? So that's fine. But come get help from your boy TD on redrafts, and I can help you do 0 RB drafting. That way you can target your top tier receivers and you don't have to force feed getting regurgitated RBs and you can win a championship. So guys, just tune in to Fantasy Good Sports at all platforms on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I'll be there.
Taco, tell everybody where to find you at.
All right, guys. I am honestly gonna, no joke, try to get on this OnlyFans wave. It still sounds funny when we say it because we already know, we think of certain things when we hear OnlyFans, but they are making the big change on the platform, and I do hear it's a great. I've seen from people that it's a great way to share content and let you see different things. So I already have a lot of content on our Facebook at the Daily Sporting. We have our Instagram, the Daily Sporting, and TDS Blitz. TDS Blitz is where I do a lot of my focus on football, where it's only football stuff, because I know a lot of people do that. I personally do all the fantasy sports, but football, I know is what season it is, and we're getting ready. I focus mainly on redraft. I mainly do, I like to do these late round picks. I like to do these sleepers. I like to do these waiver wires. So we're going to have that going all season long. Like Hustler said, we're going to have some single QB mock drafts coming up, redraft. So there'll be a lot more coming. I have mock drafts from almost every single spot. Versus we do it on the Fantasy Pro site, but we really just break down the strategy of like what players you can kind of be looking at. Like, here's a point in your draft where you're looking at the QB or you're looking at the running back, and that's going to drastically change the way the rest of your team gets built out, and try to give you some insight into what you're looking at for your draft. So definitely check that out on YouTube with us.
Yeah, and there we go. Johnny Jones asked, I know you do a lot of Superflex mocks. Y'all ever do 1 QB PPR mocks? Yep. Taco's got a bunch on his channel, the Daily Sporting. Yep. And then this coming up week, we're going to be getting at least a few of those in live, just like this, where we're live drafting from all the spots. So, yeah, make sure you follow me if you're not on Facebook. Also, everything's going to be in the group. I know you're probably in the Facebook group, the Fantasy Football Advice for Experts, Gurus, and Beginners. But make sure you follow my specific page on Facebook.
I'll post some more of my single QB PPR, because I have one done pretty much from every spot minus like 2 spots so far in a 12-team league, and I'll be doing 14-team league mock drafts as well.
There you go. Yeah, keep posting them, because we already know people are addicted to those mocks right now. And
facts.
Yeah, we got the 30th, August 30th, so 9 days away. That's when draft season we know really starts.
Yep.
All right, guys. JC, tell everybody where to find you on Twitter at least.
All right, well, I'm on Twitter at JC Money Design, and I do all the thumbnails and all the logos and stuff for Hustler here. So, I mean, if you need any work done or anything like that, just hit me up or hit Hustler up. You know where to find me.
Make sure you get your paper. Make sure you got your paper right.
Facts.
Yeah. All right, guys. Good. So we got the Real Fantasy Playmakers coming tomorrow. So we're sticking with the Sunday streams. That's at 12 noon Pacific time, 3 o'clock on the East Coast. And, going to be with Bogart. Give me money. There you go. What up, bro? We're getting out of here. See you tomorrow. And one of those mock drafts is probably going to be on Monday. If Taco can mix it in, we're probably going to get in one of those single QB mocks
Monday. Yeah, if we have power out here in New York, I'm with it, bro.
For sure.
The hurricane's about to hit tomorrow, Sunday night. So we'll see, because I'm out here right in Long Island. So I'll be seeing the eye of the storm.
Man, well, hopefully we'll keep our fingers crossed for that.
Yeah, man.
All right, everybody. We'll see you later. Peace out.
Defense on me.
I don't want them to gain another yard.